Bears got the best of me. Said bears on my fantasy. Said bears ain't what I like. We do it all night, alright. Bears that don't discriminate. I take a carbon chop to circumnavigate. Steal my heart and let it percolate all night, alright. Bears got the best of me. Said bears on my fantasy. Said bears ain't what I like. We do it all night, alright. Bears. Hello, everybody. It is your amazing, wonderful co-host of Bears of a Certain Age. It's Scott and Jonny coming at you again. It must be a Wednesday. But you'll notice on your screens we have another handsome man. We thought we'd give you a full house of handsome today. And I want to tell you exactly who this exciting guest is. With 4 decades in the business, he's risen from DJ to producer to singer-songwriter and style icon. He also happens to be a bear of a certain age like us. With the release of his latest album, 8 Days in a Bear's Life, he is poised to keep his title as one of the hardest working bears out there. So Scott and I are extremely excited to welcome Benjamin Koll to the Bears Den. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
Of course. Now, I was telling Scott on our last show that you would come up as a suggestion to me on my Instagram. And then I started listening to your music. Listen, people, I love the photo shoots. Those are freaking amazing. And I also love that you owned yourself as this bear getting out there. And so I was fascinated. Then I listened, your new album, 8 Days in a Bear's Life, was released. And I started talking to you, and you were one of the kindest, just humble artists I had ever talked to. And I thought, well, we need him on our show. So thank you for doing this, for sure.
No, I'm honored. This is wonderful.
Well,
talk about this.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about that style that you said about. I mean, do you have a stylist? Are you and your husband just that way? I mean, I love the bare-chested singing all out, but I also mean from tuxedos to nice shirt. I mean, you are a fantastic stylist, my friend.
Well, the thing is, having worked so many years with other artists, one thing I set up myself to do when I started this was to not do anything artificial. Well, not have anyone telling me what to wear or what was better for this or better for that. I was not going to take any choices or decisions based on marketing. What I do it because I love our community, and I thought more of us should, I had a big career, so I wanted to work all these years now on the community and giving back and giving something for other guys to realize that it's possible, that you don't have to be Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is awesome. It's a cool guy, but you don't have to look like him to make a career. You can be a bear and have a career as well. And but it will be a struggle, but you can do it. And the thing is, regarding clothes and all that, no, it's all me. I design my own tuxedos. I design most of my clothes. When I have anything that's not designed by me, it's another bear. For example, leather. It's Wolf Striker leather, that the one that designs most of the leather things I wear. Then there's another guy here, Ricardo, in Guadalajara, in Mexico. The brand is Actitud Sabroso. He has done some outfits for me as well. But we design them together. It's always a organic process, and it has to do with the song or with the moment. Or I don't. For me, this is more like a creative path. It's not. I don't want to. I wouldn't mind to be mainstream, but I'm not looking for that. I've been there.
Yeah. Well, and you're very visual as well in the stuff you do. And in what I've read, you, in your mind, knew that you wanted this James Bond kind of inspired look. And so you designed it because you knew what you wanted. And then you reached out and had your tailor create this look. What is it about your albums? They are known for their art that comes through. What is it about that you connect with as you're writing your music for the albums?
For example, I on this one on 8 days in a bear's life, my idea was to challenge myself. You know, to one thing I read a lot on the posts I see from other people from our community is they struggle to believe in themselves. They struggle to you know, there's that, I don't know if it's an imposter syndrome, but it's something like that. It's like we are so used to be the ones that die first in the movies, that are the poor guys in the movies, and you know, the ones that never hook up, and that's not true.
Yeah.
If there's a community that's welcoming and full of joy and sex and all that, it's the bear community.
Yeah.
So I wanted to challenge myself and do something that was special. And my idea was to lock myself up 8 days and write 8 songs.
Yeah.
So I went to a cabin. The thing is, I was able to do it. It was like a dream come true, because this is how we did the records back then, 30 years ago. We used to lock ourselves down and work and focus on the thing until it was working. But nowadays, since we are paid so little, you know,
Yes.
Spotify pays us cents, it's difficult to make money. But since I opened OnlyFans and all the subscription pages, I had extra money, and I spent that money in going out 8 days and writing those songs. I ended up writing 11 and doing 11 demos. And my only plan was, I want something that will be empowering for guys like me.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when I started, because I went there, no plan, no songs written, anything. I just put myself in front of the piano, began writing. And the first song was so sad. And I was like, fuck, I want to do I want to do an uplifting album. And no, the first song was about my family. And then the second song was about walking away and leaving it all behind. But I realized I was reflecting on things I was seeing on my friends, and you know, it's very tiresome to keep this. Social media is like forcing us to be fantastic every day. That's why I sometimes go over the top, because I'm trying not to pretend anything, but just serve a fantasy. Just to give a fantasy that's not threatening, because I'm not trying to tell anyone I'm better than you. I'm just saying, hey, join me. Let's dream something. And I have a design. Well, I have a friend, the designer that helped me with all the albums. I usually do all the previous design, all the mood boards, and do previous, you know, pictures and all that. And then I always brought everything to Pablo Vasquez, and he helped me like make sense of all of it. And this time I wanted to go James Bond, because one, I love James Bond.
Yes.
And it's one of the, if I ever feel down, I put myself a James Bond movie and I'll be again happy, and I don't know why, but they always have that effect in me. But one thing I didn't like was that big guys were always the baddies. So I wanted to have this time, I'm not saying I'm the good guy on the cover, but I'm also not the bad guy. It's like it's trying to take out that image from the collective conscience and playing a little with it. The sad thing is Pablo passed away last of August. That's been tough, because he was a great designer. He designed not just for me, but for many clubs and in the gay scene in all the world. He was very known.
Wow.
And he was a really talented guy, but he had a heart
Oh,
attack
wow.
and
Right.
bye.
Well, Johnny and I
So
talk about it all the time when you talk about over the top. I think anyone that's authentic and comes across as authentic, you can do
mhm.
those big, bold mess, and it just makes it more endearing
Yeah.
Yeah,
because there is
playful.
so many fake things happening on the Instagram and the socials
That's
that
it.
as long as you're coming across as authentic, you can go bold, you can go big, you can have fun with it, and your fans will go with you, right?
Yeah, I try just to play with that. It's like I'm going to put myself like an ancient Rome with a toga. Nobody's going to believe I've been in Rome. That's a fake picture. It's like but I'm trying to convey something there
Right.
because, for example, that culture didn't punish our images that
Yeah.
much. It was more
Right.
forgiving.
I have to ask, speaking of the way you stylize and the way you bring
Mhm.
this visual, you do these things called listening companions, which are these
Yes.
graphic novels. I hadn't really, we've all gone through CD covers. This is not even, doesn't give it justice. These are full on, I've never seen before, absolutely amazing. What made you start doing those with your albums?
Because I love the experience we had in the 80s with the vinyl.
Yeah.
You remember you got your Supertramp album. It was a double
Yeah.
album. You opened that, and there was a lot of pictures, a lot of text, and it was magic. The Electric Light Orchestra. I remember staring at those illustrations forever, or Earth, Wind and Fire. Those covers and those artworks, they amplified the message of the music. So I wanted to bring that back, and I set up myself to do books that were related to each song. Each song has the lyrics, pictures that are related to the song or inspired by the song, all the expanded artwork. The books are done by me. Pablo helped me come up with the cover, but everything else is me.
Wow.
So it was also a creative challenge because I love to design. Another thing I set up myself to do when I started my career as Benjamin Koll is not to dumb myself down anymore, because in the mainstream you only can be one thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You only can be a singer. It's like you never saw Michael Jackson in front of a piano playing, and he knew how to play piano,
Yeah.
Right.
and he
True.
was a good musician.
Yeah.
But there's no picture of him playing. And
Yeah, I
that was
put that in
because
my notes to Johnny. Like he said, they are graphic novels. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
albums used to have liner notes, right? You'd have the
Yeah.
sleeves and you'd see the words to
you
the song, you'd see who produced it. But
Yeah.
yours are full on graphic novels with the pictures they have,
yeah,
Yeah.
the
because
different
in the end
stories.
I play everything on my
Wow.
albums. So this is the first album, for example, and this is Tell Me Why, and I speak about the making of the song, about what motivated it, and then you have the lyrics and more pictures,
Right?
and for example, there are more dating pictures. In fact, in the latest books, since the albums were or more sexual, the books became more explicit. But that makes sense with the songs. I don't think I'm making a fool of myself there. I'm just like expanding the universe of the song. If I do a song about having an intimate moment with someone, what else is better than showing that that
Right?
fantasy? And the books are that. It's like having that experience again of immersing yourself into the songs and all the things I was creating around them.
Well,
I
Johnny and
still.
I talk about all the time having all the senses, right? And I
Mhm.
talked about with another guest about vinyl. It's almost like a different experience because the sound comes at you a different way. You're seeing something physical. Everything's streaming now. We don't have anything physical to touch, anything
Yeah.
to
No,
do. And I
And
think
also,
that's where these come across, right?
for example, the vinyl, the mastering is totally different. It's not the digital mastering. This was mastered by an engineer that's a very good friend. We've been working together for 35 years, and he has won Grammys as a mastering engineer.
Wow.
And he did this old style, and in fact the guys that are receiving the vinyl are surprised because they say this doesn't sound like your regular vinyl nowadays. They sound like the old times, and I'm like, yes, I wanted one of the things when I was working on the songs, I wanted them to have specific sounds and frequencies that I knew they were going to shine on vinyl.
Right. You are like a very full artist. Like you hit all the angles, which is, I love that, like you said earlier, what we love to do in our culture, and especially in this industry, is we want to be able to label you. So they get really mad at you if they can't put you in one place. And you refuse to be in that, so much so that I want to talk about, Scott had alluded to it earlier, but you have even an OnlyFans page.
Yes,
and you talk about how you're actually can be a very shy person, but you also have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, but the thing is, the funny part about it was all because of the pandemic. Until the pandemic arrived, I was doing well. I was able to make money and to survive doing what I was doing. I was not getting rich, because if I wanted to get rich, I would have stayed in the mainstream working for Cher. But but the thing is, I was doing fine. We were surviving and being happy and all that. But the pandemic hit, and it changed everything.
Yeah.
The money stopped, and I was doing lives on YouTube, so my fans were not that alone. I was doing every day one live, and they were the ones that told me, why don't you open a Patreon? And I was like, oh, that's not a bad idea, but I was like ashamed of like asking money for in that way. It was a huge shift in my mind. I had to go to therapy, in fact. Yeah, to cope with the fact that I was going to ask for money for a subscription. Yeah, because I come from an industry where you sell records.
Yeah.
You don't in the old times it was like that. You sold records, and if your song was successful, you had money.
Yeah.
So
it's not
that's
like
it.
that anymore.
Yeah, it's not like that. So the thing is, the fans insisted, so I opened the Patreon, and the Patreon was it was giving me a good allowance every month, and it began to grow, and I began to think in different terms and to work more in the graphic aspect and to bring I even posted there. I have a novel written in Spanish. It's published.
Nice.
I translated it to English, and it's there as well, the full novel.
Yeah.
That I have to I'm looking forward now. I want to take like a month free to revise it, edit it, and then publish it. But the thing is, I began to create a lot of stuff, and for example, I began to share on Patreon not only the pictures that are on the book, but more pictures that were taken, and things began to be spicy, because my songs are spicy, and my music has that element of and my music videos. In fact, my first music videos were kind of explicit. They were not hardcore, because I'm not into hardcore porn. I'm not into that. But for example, one of the videos I wanted to show, I was not thinking about this clearly when I was doing it, but my plan was I was worried many friends were on PrEP and not using condoms anymore. And you can get any other things. You can get syphilis, you get a lot of things. You have to be careful. or mindful. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and I saw that all the, at least here, all the associations were focusing on promoting PrEP and not talking about condoms. And I wanted to do a video that showed two bears putting one condom one on another and having a good time with the condom. So we did a music video like that. And when I finished the video, I was like, where the hell am I going to post this? I cannot show this on YouTube. And well, Patreon was handy for that. So there's a censored version on YouTube that still YouTube thinks is offensive, and we cannot make money out of it or anything. It's like for 8, yeah. But there's the other version on Patreon. And the thing is, I began to loosen up and doing more stuff and not thinking and just letting flow the things, because in the end, in our community, there's a lot of sex, and I wanted to reflect that. The thing is, all of a sudden, when things were going super well I was about to celebrate my 54th birthday.
Nice.
I did a special, like a disco special, that's on YouTube for the 54th birthday, and I was doing a special thing for Patreon that was like an Ask Me Anything, that was every question I take one piece of clothes off.
Nice.
It was fun, and for me also it was a challenge, because one thing is to artistically put yourself in a photo shoot or a music video shooting and do things, but another thing is to without a song, without a context, just for me that
literally
was
stripping naked, right? It's not stripping just your body, but it's stripping your whole conscience.
Yes, and it was a really good exercise. The thing is, Patreon thought it was a lot. It was too much, and they sent me an email saying, "Sir, if you don't delete at least 50% of your posts, we are going to throw you out."
Oh my God.
Yes, like that. And I was like, oh my God. Because I remember that just that week I had done an interview with my dear friends Eric and Christian from Bears in Excess, and they told me, will you ever open an OnlyFans? And I'm like, no, I'm not like that. I do artistic things and all that. I would never be on OnlyFans. And then Destiny comes and says, fuck you. and it was like a Wednesday, 3 days before the change of the month. I told the fans, hey guys, I have to delete a lot of posts, and I will not be able to post a lot of explicit material going on. And suddenly half of them went away.
Oh wow.
And I was like, fuck, because we needed that money.
Yeah.
Right.
And I talked with my husband, and I said, I'm afraid I will have to open OnlyFans. So next thing, I text my therapist, and I said, I need therapy. And I went to with him, and he was great. He was awesome. He gave me the sentence that allowed me to build on that and go on with the idea. And it was like, I would never have to worry about censorship again.
Yes.
And that was liberating. I was like, oh. So and my biggest worry was that being on OnlyFans, people were going to expect like hardcore stuff from me.
Right.
And I'm not a very promiscuous guy. I don't mind if something comes up. It's great, but I'm not like looking for it or going out constantly. Or no. I'm very at home and very relaxed guy on that sense. So I was not going to do like collaborations or making a. And I told the guys, I'm going to do this like a self-exploration thing.
Nice.
I'm going to try things I've never tried before with you. I may fail, I may have success or not, but it will be real. If you want to come along, come along. If you don't, don't. And the thing is, I began experimenting and doing things, and it was lots of fun. I grew a lot as a person because I had to challenge myself every day to come up with something, and also I did things I never thought I was able to do or would ever do. Like, for example, being more clear about it, toys. I never had tried any toys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to buy 8 toys and I'm going to try every one of them. And I did videos on each of those. And it's fun. It was fun. And it's still is fun. The best part of it is the community, the guys. I have a very open conversation with the comments and the messages, and I try to have, and all that feedback is very inspiring. In fact, most of them are on the thanks,
That's
thanks.
me. And I have to say, like, you have found, I think one of the things that draws me to you is that you have found this ability to embrace all, like, you took the control back of your life. You allowed yourself to discover who you were, and you are showing the world time and time again that Scott and I try to talk about, which is just because we are bears of a certain age, we're not twinks of a 20s, it doesn't mean we're dead. That we have a right to exist. I know. We have a right to exist and create and have sex and laugh and have full lives. And I think we have fancy clothes, standing up for that.
And we can be elegant, we can have fancy clothes, we can look good, and we can have a lot of things that. But that's on the gay culture. In the general gay culture, I remember I lived in Chueca in Madrid for a long time, in the gay village there, and there was a thing going on. I was in my 30s, and everybody had for a fact that when you turned 40, you were dead for the community. Yeah. And I'm like, no, and I'm fighting against that since then. It's not like that. I think we are better now. When I think life starts at 50, your mind is on where it needs to be at 50 because you got rid of a lot of things. And mostly in our generation, I think we are the first that luckily have been able to survive and to tell. And we have a lot to tell. And, I see a lot of loneliness in the younger guys. To be 15 nowadays with TikTok, that has to be a nightmare. All the expectations, all the not having the ability to fail. Every little thing you do will be on camera forever. That's, oh my God. No. We need to tell them they have all the right to reinvent themselves every now and then. They can change. It's not, you are not the same you at 20, 30, 40, 50, even 60. And you need to be able to do those changes. And I don't think social media nowadays allows that change and that liberty. And that's one of the things I try to do with what I share in open social media. I try to show them that you don't need to be just one thing. You can be millions of things. It's up to you.
Very well said. We put it out to our listeners for a couple of questions for you. And you said something that kind of triggered one that dovetails with a question that I had for you. You spoke a little bit ago about a Spanish project you put. Manny from Anaheim says he loved that you did 2 songs in Spanish for a Cito album. He's wanting to know, do you think in Spanish when you create your words, or do you translate to English, or do you think in English when you're doing your music?
That's a good question, and that's fun because I'm struggling with that just now. The thing, I'm going to explain. The thing is, I've always, music in my mind it always speaks in English because of my culture. When I was 11 years old, I was in Ireland, and what I listened to was Fleetwood Mac, Michael Jackson. That was, Supertramp and Kraftwerk, but I didn't listen Spanish music. In fact, I think I had a good career in Spain because I was discovering Spanish music as I was producing. So for me, I had the perspective of a Swedish guy. It was like I was very cold about it, and I was able to transform and to do things that they usually didn't do because they thought, no, Spanish music cannot sound like this or sound like that. So I was more free like that, and I want to do music in Spanish. I was just today thinking about that. The thing is, it's difficult for me to write in Spanish because since I think when I write lyrics, I usually write them in English. It has to be, and Spanish needs to be more poetic. If you want a song to flow and with the kind of music I'm doing, it has to be like poetic but I don't want to. There's a very fine line, of between poetic and ridicule, and it's difficult to find that balance. And precisely today, because I have started writing new songs. I'm working on 2 now, and I told myself it would be nice to have like two Spanish songs on this next album. But I'm like, what I'm going to say? What do I say? The lyrics, because it's difficult. And then another thing, it's not easy for me to work with another lyricists, with guys, because they usually they write about themselves and all that. What I'm doing on my albums is more of a personal journey, so it has to be me. That's the thing. But to be simple about the answer, I usually think in music in English. But sometimes if there's a Spanish idea, if there's a phrase, if there's something, I can go there, because it always starts with me with like that, with 3 lines, an idea, and now that defines the future song.
Yeah.
Nice. Good question, Manny. Good job out there.
I know.
What was the response to your 2 albums on Osito? What was the response to those first 2 Spanish language?
Oh, they love them. I'm guessing they love them. I don't. Nobody complained. But
Manny loved them.
There was one on All Systems Go. There was one called Te Quiero Junto a Mí. I wrote that song in 1995, and I decided to re-record it for this album.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Now, if we're going to do listener questions, I have one from a gentleman named Gene out of Seattle who wanted to know, he is a musician. He likes to sing. He's a bigger guy. He's older. And he wants to know, he doesn't have the confidence that you have. How do you find a way on stage? How does he, as someone just trying to find his feet, what is some suggestions you can give him to try to break in?
That's very interesting. There's something, I don't know why people think I'm confident. I'm not that confident. I'm just playing. I'm just interpreting. In fact, when I decided in 2014 that I was going to leave production for others and start mine, the first thing I did was to go to a school of theater, to learn acting.
Yeah.
And I was one year and a half with a teacher teaching me how to improvise, and because, believe it or not, this takes training.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I did. I got acting classes, and they were very helpful. I would tell him that maybe he should try that. Go and do improvisation classes. That will help him find some like inner strength when he has to face others. Another thing is that it's important to flow with these things. You don't have to be anything you don't want to be.
Yeah.
You can be an artist that doesn't give interviews, that doesn't go live, that doesn't do concerts. You can be an artist that does music. And I love to be a lab rat. I enjoy the studio process and finding the sounds and designing, and like how did Erwin and Fire did this bass line, and I'll be 2 days working on that and, until I make mine. So you can be whatever you want. It's not about that confidence you see. It's more me trying to transmit to you what I was trying to do with the song. It's
right.
I'm performing a character. It's like that. For me, each song is a story, and each story has a main character, a secondary character, and I always try to embody one of them, and that's what I show on the videos and all that. It's not.
What's amazing?
More...
What you present is amazing, and I'll make sure that I send this over to James so he gets that. But I think there's a lot to be said. Performance is a skill, and you have to build it like you would anything else. Yeah.
You need to train. It's important to train. It's important to do exercise because you need air for. When you hit 50, you need air. Believe me.
Right.
Pro tip. Pro tip.
You need to have extra strength to be able to breathe and to have enough air and all that. And it's always about, if he wants to do music, if he wants to put a song out in the world, it's because he has something he wants to say. He has to focus on that. What is it you want to say, and just say it in your words, because that's what makes you an artist.
Exactly.
Very true. We had an email from Glenn. He didn't say where he's from. He asked, where did the name the Bear King come from? Who crowned you Bear King?
That's Glenn. That's one.
Glenn is the one that asked that.
Yes, he's obsessed with that. He's always on Instagram saying, the king, and I'm like, no, I'm not a king, not a princess. In fact, I did on Osito, I did a song named King as a joke to him, and it's a song about a blowjob.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because I wanted to, take away the superiority thing from that word and make it, and I came up with the idea that I want to make you my king.
Nice.
So, sit down.
There you go. Glenn, leave him alone. He's answered it now twice. Goodness gracious.
From this point
I have another
forward,
process question, if I could ask for real quick.
Yes.
You talk about you made this created this Lewis album 8 days in a cabin with your husband, though, who's very creative and also a musician. What is your process? Do you like to have people around with you creating? Do you like to collaborate with other people? Or did you tell your husband to go on long walks? I mean, how do you do that?
Well, this time my husband was there on holidays. He was enjoying the pool and enjoying the quietness. We didn't collaborate on this album. I did everything by myself. And there was another friend that he was taking care of. I love to cook, but if I have to cook and do the shopping and all that, I don't do music. So I paid a friend to stay with us those 8 days, so he could take care of the food and all the all the things. Yeah, so I didn't have to worry about having. And my husband was just there having fun and taking care of my social media while I was away. That was the thing that he did. And I don't mind having people around when I write or do music, but it's usually a solitary process. It's usually you are on your own because, for example, my process, there's always something that sparks, that a little spark that maybe it could be. I have the piano here. You cannot see it now, but there's a here. The keyboard is here, so I may start playing some notes, and that will take me to another to a melody, or maybe I just go out and walk, and a melody comes to my head, or there's a maybe I'm watching a movie and I see I hear a phrase or something that will inspire me. For example, one thing that inspired me a lot during Gosito was Grey's Anatomy. I was watching Grey's Anatomy all day, and it inspired me a lot in some of the songs.
There's a couple boys on there that inspired me a lot too, so I can understand that.
So
But
now,
yeah,
do
you never know.
when you do an album and it's time to get out there, you release it like this brand new album. Do you go out and do a lot of public performances? Do you go to the clubs?
No, not that much. The thing is that this last year for me, for my health, has been complicated. I've been struggling with cervical issues because of the piano. So many years with the piano and the computer. And my vertebrae, it's been crazy. And the thing is, it made me have pain in my arm. First this one, then this one. Now I'm better because I've been doing PRP treatment, injections of plasma. And things are going better, but it's a struggle. And then I don't really see myself. As I was telling you, what I enjoy is the process, the creation, doing the songs and all that. I don't have that hunger for performing live. I would love to do it more often, but nobody calls me. Really, nobody hires me. So if they would book me, I would maybe. Well, this year I rejected 2 things because of health, but if I can, I'm happy to go and perform and all that. But I'm not that oriented in success and going there and doing lots of promotion, and not because I've been there. I've been on that, and I want this to be fun. I want to have fun with what I do, and of course I would like to have a broader audience, and but sometimes you have to balance. You have to choose. Do I want to sell my soul to the devil again? It's like I don't know. I'm so happy right now, but I don't mind. I love it when going to events and all that, and I would love to go to more. But nowadays I'm keeping a balance from having a private life, nice and easy, watching my movies, and because I'm a big movie buff, I'm watching movies and series every day, and doing my stuff and creating. I still think I have 1 or 2 albums in me, and those need work. It's a lot of work. Have in mind that I play everything on every of my songs. I do everything. I mix, I arrange, I do everything except from mastering. I have done, before you mentioned it, I have done some collaborations, but it's not something. The thing is, the moment I feel I have said everything I needed to say, I'll start doing collaborations.
Right.
We got to start wrapping it up. So I'm going to ask a final question. We'll let Jonny wrap everything up at the end here. Talk to me, talk about future generations of singer-songwriters. I'm sure being a producer for all those years before you actually performed gave you a lot of background that kind of helps you do everything that you're doing. What do you recommend to up-and-comers to kind of get their feet wet? What do they need to learn if they really want us to do the hard work and make it a long career?
Okay. The thing is, things have changed so much. I still study every week. I study at least from every week, every 7 days, 2 days are for study for me. I keep studying and learning new things and being informed about what's happening and from technology to staying on track of things. And what I would say to anyone that wants to work with this is, first, you need to believe in yourself. And if you need therapy for that, go to therapy. Find a good therapist and do a lot of therapy. Don't find the confidence on alcohol, drugs, or anything. If you think you need alcohol or drugs or anything to be yourself, you are not being yourself. You're killing yourself. You need therapy. Go first. You need to. It's like the Sufi said. First, you need to clean your house, and then you can invite people in. So it's important to have your mindset. For example, for me, one thing that was my driving force was I didn't want to come back to the little village with where my parents lived, and I was like, I had to do whatever to keep running.
Yeah.
And in the process, I was like trying to be a better me. But that mindset is important. Then preparation is key. You don't need to have a career in music. You don't need to read, notes on it. If it's in you, if the talent is here, if the music is in your soul, beautiful thought, you will make it happen. But you need to learn how to make it happen. You need to learn how to put that thing you have in your head in something that's understandable for everyone.
Yeah.
And for that, you need to learn technique. You need to practice. You need to study a lot. It's not that easy nowadays because it's complicated. But I would say you need that. You need focus. You need to have some talent there. You need some balance in your life. And don't worry. Don't try to follow anyone. Do your own path, and people will start following you. Don't try to imitate. It's not the. I for example, I have listened to a lot of music in my life, and one of the things I spend a lot of most time is not allowing myself to copy anyone that I know. I can do little references or homages because I do them on purpose, and it's very noticeable if you know music. But I try to, good or bad, be myself. So you need to be yourself. And if it sounds crazy to you, if you think people will not like it, you may be surprised.
Yes.
Because maybe that you have in your head is what they are expecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to do your thing.
And there's room for all of us. First of all, I just have to say thank you so much. You were so kind when I reached out. You're very inspiring, and you have quite a lot of people who look to you for that inspiration. So whether you feel it or understand it or not, you change a lot of people's lives. So before we go, though, will you please tell everyone where they can go buy your music, buy those companion books? Where can they support you?
Well, they can go to my website. It's the easiest place to go. It's benjaminkoll.com. And there are all the links to everything. It's on that website. I do the website myself, so it's not a marketing thing. It's full of little things here and there. Just go dive in and you will find links to everything there. To the books, to the singles, to the digital editions, the CDs, the vinyl, everything is there on the website. And it's the easiest link to memorize, benjaminkoll.com. It's not
love
difficult.
It. Well, thank you for giving us Bears of a Certain Age hope that there is, for all of our listeners, for all of the people who watch our show, it's never too late to follow your dreams.
No.
So go.
And nothing is impossible. You can do anything just if you put some effort in it.
Exactly. And there are no limits except the ones you accept upon yourself. And I think that's amazing. So thank you, Scott. It's good night.
Thank you,
well
Jonny.
said. Well, Benjamin, stay on the line for us. Guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up in just a couple of seconds. We'll play out with one of Benjamin's songs here, and then Jonny and I will be back to wrap things up in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to Bears of a Certain Age right here. We're back in a bit.
I see you across the room, you got me feeling like a fool. Your body's moving to the beat. I try to play it cool, but I'm so into you. I can't resist, I gotta have you. You're the one I want tonight. I'll be yours till the morning light. You're the one I want tonight. I'll be yours till the morning light. We've been moving to the sound. Baby, let's get down. We can dance the night away, or just stay in bed and play. Either way, I'm feeling you. You're the one I wanna do. You're the one I want tonight. I'll be yours till the morning light. You're the one I want tonight. I'll be yours till the morning light. We've been moving to the sound. Baby, let's get down. Let's get down. Baby, let's get down. We don't need nobody else. Just you and me, we can make it work. I'll be your lover, you'll be mine. We'll be feeling so fine. I want tonight. I'll be yours till the morning light. You're the one I want tonight. I'll be yours till the morning light. We'll be moving to the sun. You're the one I want tonight. I'll be yours till the morning light. You're the one I want tonight. I'll be yours till the morning light. We've been moving to the sound. Baby, let's get down. Baby, let's get down. Let's get down. Moving to the sound. Baby, let's get down. Moving to the sound. Moving to the. We'll be moving. Moving to the sound. Be moving. We'll be moving. Moving to the sound. Be moving. Baby, let's get down. Let's get down.
Hey guys, it's Scott from Bears of a Certain Age. Surplus is here, the new gay dating app exclusively for us mature men. Jonny and I are excited to have them as our premier community brand partner right here on Bears of a Certain Age. On the Surplus app, where older is always bolder, available now on both Apple and Android phones. We hope you'll join us where you can get the app so you can meet the man.
Bears got the best of me, said bears on my fantasy, said